Sky Mobile sponsors the transfer window on Sky Sports News.
Manchester United going to be back in the market this week, we think. They're on the search for a left-back. Two options they are exploring. Chelsea's Marc Cucurella and Tottenham's Sergio Reguilon. United are exploring loan deals on both of those players and looking into their situations. Craig, could you tell us about what's happening with United's current left-backs at the moment?
So Luke Shaw's injured for the foreseeable, which is unfortunate. This is probably the longest period that Luke Shaw's been fit, and it's coincided with the best period of his career in terms of form. So he's going to be out for a little while. Before the season, I did see fullback as a position of weakness for Man United anyway. I do like Wan-Bissaka and I do like Luke Shaw, but I feel like those positions could be improved, and I'm not a big fan of their backups. Malacia would be the natural replacement for Luke Shaw. He's also injured, missed the whole of pre-season. His return is unknown currently. They've got a young fullback, a young left-back. I was talking to Flex about him, Alvaro Fernandez, who was on loan at Preston North End last season. Really, really tasty player. He's talented. He reminds me of Marcos Alonso in terms of the way he gets forwards. He's athletic. He's good on the ball. He is very young. He hasn't played Premier League football, but he's in and around the United squad. And Ten Hag talked about him in pre-season and said that he's a player that should be looking to break into the first team. I don't know whether United will persist with somebody like that. Obviously, he's unproven at Premier League level, but I did really like the look of him. You expect United to go back in the market, really. It's for United, it's a difficult situation, though, because their weakness is quite clear for everybody to see. It's midfield, and despite the fact that they won on the weekend, they still do need to bring in reinforcements in that position. So for me personally, I'd like to see Erik Ten Hag coach his way out of this situation in terms of bringing in a makeshift fullback, whether that's Alvaro Fernandez or whether that's playing Dello there for the time being, and use those resources elsewhere. But it does look, it's Manchester United. They're going to go back in the market. I just don't think that's the right thing to do with the limited resources they've got at hand.
That's an interesting point you make around utilising the options that they've already got in the squad. And you touched on the issues elsewhere for Manchester United. So do they have bigger problems elsewhere, do you think?
It's a weird one, because when you looked at the business that they've done, bringing in Onana, Højlund and Mount, you'd think that they had a good window, and I thought that they did, because they strengthened areas that they needed to strengthen. And then you saw from their first few games areas like Kweku said, where in their midfield it looks like they need some reinforcement, some stability there. But also we saw Varane getting injured on the weekend, and Lindelof, who's always going to be a reliable replacement, but has never really been trusted enough to be a consistent centre-back at Manchester United. And if you're talking about a team that is gone from third and winning a trophy and wants to step up that level, they're going to need players that almost increase the quality that they have in the side. You know, we saw them linked with Kim Min-jae, who went to Bayern Munich. Pavard, looks like that deal hasn't turned into anything. And then also Todibo. And I think that those are the signings that you'd look at Manchester United and say, yeah, those are signings that can increase our level. Also, right wing, is that an area that they want to bring in more quality? They've got a few players out there, Anthony, Pellistri as well, but are they really the standard you expect for a Manchester United winger? A lot of United fans will say that Anthony was better on the weekend. So it's a tough one, because they've got areas, but it looks like they're only able to improve those areas if they do make sales, and we're not really seeing any movement in that.
Well, let's take a bit of a closer look at those potential replacements then for Luke Shaw. Nabaid?
Well, I'm going to take you to the big screen. We're looking at some stats, and I think Manchester United are in this situation at the moment where a left-back is absolutely crucial, because essentially you have Luke Shaw, who plays such a big part in Manchester United's build-up play, and right here we've got Sergio Reguilon, who has been linked his heat map. As you can see, he's a very direct wing-back. He's essentially someone that, under Conte, has certainly played somewhere out here. And that's probably not what Manchester United need. Playing in a back four, you need a left-back who contributes to build-up play, which is Luke Shaw's role. And I don't feel like bringing in Sergio Reguilon gives you that sort of allowance to do that. You then have someone like Marc Cucurella, who, as you'll see on the heat map in a moment, comes inside a little bit more. He's definitely better in possession. He's also someone at Brighton that contributed to their build-up play, and at Chelsea has played as a left-sided centre-back. Now, there were periods where Ten Hag reverted to Shaw as a centre-back and occasionally a left-sided centre-back. But for the most part, what you want from your left-back is something like this, but also have the ability to do that as well. That is what Cucurella can do. And that brings him potentially a little bit closer to maybe what Luke Shaw's heat map looks like. It's very difficult to find a sort of perfect match for Luke Shaw because he's incredibly good in possession here and he's very good in possession here as well. The one standout stat for me was that Reguilon averages 31 passes per 90 in his time at Spurs, whereas both Shaw and Cucurella average 70 plus. Now, as I say, Manchester United want to build up from that left-hand side. That's why Luke Shaw is a massive blow, whereas someone like Reguilon, you bring him in and you have to change your style of play. You no longer have a left-back that wants the ball or wants to play. He essentially wants to bomb on and try and create chances. Now, I'm not saying Ten Hag won't do that, but I feel like if you're looking for a Luke Shaw out-and-out replacement, Cucurella's profile matches a little bit better. Now, I've got two Chelsea fans with me, so I'm going to ask them. Chelsea fans here, is Cucurella one of these players that still has got it in him to come into Manchester United and do the job? And is he just sort of needs a gaffer that can put his arm around him? And is Ten Hag that guy?
It's unfortunate for Cucurella. He's not top of the list in terms of Chelsea fans' favourite players. And it's not been a great season for him. Of course, he was linked with Man City before Chelsea signed him. So Pep Guardiola saw something in him. And I think that's probably why Chelsea jumped and paid all that money for him. And it's not been comfortable. At Brighton, you saw him play more in a back three, the left-sided centre-back in the back three. Similar position to what Levi Colwill played last season. Gave him licence to bomb on. At Chelsea, he's played a lot of times in the back four and it's not suited him. And I remember one game last season, it was West Ham away from home. Mudryk was playing on the left-hand side and every time Cucurella would get the ball, he wouldn't open up his body and look outside, he'd always turn inside, which suggests a player that's lacking confidence. He's not looking to progress the ball, he's looking to play the safe and easy option. I think maybe if he has a fresh start at a new club, you can see the best in Cucurella because there's no doubt about it. What we saw at Brighton was a special player who looked like he was on his way to the top, just hasn't worked out for him at Chelsea.
There's already a relationship there as well between Chelsea and Manchester United this summer in terms of doing business. They've shown they will sell, Chelsea will sell or do business with supposed rival clubs.
Yeah, but I think a loan deal, I don't know if that is realistic in terms of, you know, you're strengthening a direct rival or with a loan deal. Obviously, you probably wouldn't be able to play against us. But I think for Cucurella, it is unfortunate, like Kweku said, when Chilwell's fit, he's going to start. So even if, you know, he was at the top of his game, you know, Chilwell's vice captain, he's always going to get those minutes. So he's not really going to get the freedom to almost improve. And I'm not counting him out because of last season, because a lot of Chelsea players didn't really perform to their standard. But I think he definitely needs minutes, whether it's going to be on loan to Manchester United. I don't know. I don't see that happening.
I don't know why you would, if you're Chelsea, United are potentially competing with you for top four, and they are in big trouble. They do not have a left back. You cannot then give them an option, in my opinion. You can't then go, we'll give you a little fix for the time being just because we need to get him off our books. You may just, I know Cucurella isn't at the moment first choice for Chelsea, but you might just be giving United the fix just to get them over the line. And as Kweku said, I actually want to see Ten Hag navigate out of this tactically rather than just go in the market and find a solution.
It's also, it's a numbers game for Chelsea. You've seen that in the window already. Chelsea do not concern themselves about what other teams are doing. It's all about what Chelsea are doing. Hence why they'd sell a Kovacic to Man City, who are maybe not direct rival, but we've seen Jorginho and Havertz go to Arsenal. We've seen Mason Mount go to Manchester United. For the Chelsea hierarchy, it doesn't matter where they go. If they need to shift Cucurella's wages, they will do that. And if Manchester United is the destination, then they will do it. And they've shown, in terms of Pochettino at Chelsea, that maybe Ian Matson's ahead of him. Obviously, Ben Chilwell's definitely ahead of him. He's our vice-captain. And so I don't see a future for Cucurella at Chelsea. And if he's just going to sit on the bench for the next 3-4 months until the January transfer window, then I wouldn't be surprised to see Chelsea let him go to Man United.
Important to point out, nothing too concrete on those deals yet, just Manchester United interest exploring loan deals for Cucurella and Sergio Reguilon. Obviously, we'll be keeping an eye on it here on Sky Sports News.